Hello, hello. My name is Alana, and I just wanted to come on here to do a little 101 on altar building. What is a sacred space? Well, space and our environment, our ambiance has so much power. The energy around us impacts us whether we like it or not. So a great way to start having a more sacred space is to build yourself an altar. And this is also a great thing to do if you are starting a spiritual practice of your own, if you are trying to just connect more with the divine, with your intuition, or just with yourself. And don't mind me, I'm going to be looking down sometimes here because I have a bunch of notes in front of me that I want to share with you about altar building. So building an altar is a great way to start your spiritual practice, or to just create a sacred space to connect more with yourself and the divine within you. And so what can we use an altar for? To meditate, to pray, to chant, to give gratitude, to send affirmations out into the universe, to send out into the universe your greatest dreams, desires, and wishes, to reflect, to connect with your ancestors and spirit guides, to appreciate the things that are of symbolic importance to you, to manifest, to practice yoga. There's so many things that you can do with an altar. And so it should definitely be authentic to your needs and your desires and your goals. And the benefits is having a physical, literal space to go to rest your mind and your brain, to a physical expression of your commitment to your spiritual practice or your personal goal or desire. So it's basically a great focal point for your energy. So another great thing about altar building is literally just a great place, a great way to help you form habits. If you're trying to have a better habit of maybe meditating every day, or doing any sort of spiritual practice every day, then because of just the strong associations that your brain creates with physical space and activity, then this is going to help you a lot to have a space where you can come back to every time you're doing this. So the steps of creating an altar, we'll just start with there. There's about 3 steps that I would say. So first of all, you want to choose a place that feels right for you. So it doesn't really matter how big or small it is. You just want to kind of sense the energy and find a place that just feels right intuitively to you. Maybe a place that you can have a little bit of quiet time, a little bit of privacy, hopefully. You could even have your altar in a jar and carry it with you. I had a lot of friends traveling around the world who carried an altar with them in a piece of cloth and had it wrapped up. And that way, anywhere that they landed in the world, in every hostel they went to, they were able to take out their sacred objects or the objects that were symbols to them. And they were able to set that up and have that with them everywhere that they went. So really, it doesn't matter, how big or small it is. Some people have multiple altars in their home. It just matters how the energy in that space feels for you. So then what you want to do is cleanse the space. So you want to make sure that you clean up the space from dust or dirt, and you want to declutter it as much as possible, because we want to respect this place. We want this place to be an area of respect and devotion. So just like in a religious practice, you would always make sure that this area is cleansed and cleaned. You can also cleanse it with candles or incense, with sound bowls or sound tools, even through chanting, clapping, blowing, setting intention, through meditation, through a visualization meditation, or through crystals if you like to use those to cleanse things, to cleanse spaces. And you want to make sure that you keep your altar space decluttered and cleansed, and maintain it throughout your days, every day, as much as possible. Make sure that you keep it clean and you maintain it. The last step that I would say in altar building is to gather your objects. So you could gather any sort of objects that are meaningful to you. It can be things that represent yin and yang, or the feminine and masculine qualities of life, the balance of all that we are. The balance of life also shows up in the 4 elements, or some believe the 5 elements. So you can gather objects that represent the elements, like fire, earth, water, air, space. There are so many different things that you can get creative with there. You can gather objects that reflect your inner child, that reflect cycles of life that are simply inspiring to you or empowering to you or helpful to you. You can gather photos or things that represent your spirit guides, your ancestors, your family members, just your loved ones in general, your spiritual teachers. Some people like to put a photo of their gurus or whoever their spiritual teachers are. Anything that amplifies energy, so crystals, mala beads, statues of any sort. I know I have a statue of Ganesha that I use sometimes in my altar, and just anything that triggers your senses. So maybe something that feels nice and has a good texture, or something that smells nice, like a candle or an essential oil. So things like that. So lots of things you can put on your altar. And you want to just ask yourself the questions: what will my altar be used for? And what do I want the altar to reflect or express about myself, or about my goals, dreams, and desires? You might want to have a focal point of your altar, or you might want to arrange it in the form of a mandala. A lot of people do that. I'll show you my altar here in a minute, and my altar doesn't necessarily have a certain arrangement. I just arranged it intuitively, what felt good and what felt organized to me. And it has some sense of balance to it and symmetry, but not totally. So you can always just do things intuitively as well. Just looking at my notes here, see what else I want to share with you. Allow your altar to evolve and shift and change and grow along with you. We are growing and changing every single day. So your altar might change every single day. You might add or subtract items from it on a weekly or monthly basis, just whatever feels right to you. But don't think that it has to be this thing that's just stagnant. Allow it to grow and evolve with you, because everything in life is changing, just like you, and every cell in our body. So yeah, just allow your altar to be an outward representation of your inner attunement, and let it remind you of your intentions, of the divine that lives within you and within every single thing, both our light and our shadows, and allow it to serve as a space of deeper connection with all things and with yourself. And I want to show you now my altars. I have 2 altars. Let's see if I can turn this here in my house. And I always, at different times of my life, have different altars depending on where I am. They shift. I have this one under beautiful Diego Rivera's artwork. I have an incense holder. I have some candles, some shells that I collected from different countries on my travels. I have some crystals that I've also collected and been gifted through my travels. My beautiful custom-made mala beads from India. I have 2 tarot card decks, and all of these, most of these things are gifts from people that I love and care about. I have my energizing essential oil here, and everything that you see in this altar, down to this little tile here, is special in some way. It has some meaning. This tree driftwood love was given to me by a soulmate of mine, and I have, of course, one of my favorite guides in this divine world, and I have one of my favorite affirmations that I use. And then I also have another altar which I use sometimes that for my Buddhist practice, and this one, it has my parents here, a photo of my parents. It has some yogic principles, some yogic philosophy to remind me every single day. And it has my chant through my Buddhist organization, Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. So yeah, those are my altars, and I'm so happy to be able to share them with you. If you have any questions about altars, you can ask me. And for now, I just want to leave you with that. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for tuning in, for watching, for being here. Again, my name is Alana, Luna Soul Yoga. You can also follow my page, and blessings to you all. Mwah!